So there I was, standing over his table, heart thumping like an ore crusher. He didn't stand up, he didn't reach for a holster. He just kept looking at that glass of water, then he looked at me. His eyes, kids, they weren't right. One was focused on my collar, the other was looking at the door behind me. You're from the dirt, he said, it wasn't a question. I can smell the sulfur and the broken dreams on your coat. I told him about the combine, I told him about the taxes and the graves. I told him we were looking for a savior, and I was down to my last C-bill. He didn't ask about the tonnage, he didn't ask about the salvage rights. He just leaned in close, I could smell the ozone on his skin. And he whispered, does the mountain scream when you dig into it? I didn't know what to say, I thought about running right then. But he stood up, he was thin like a wire under tension. I'll take the job, he said, and his voice had a crackle in it. Not for your money, little man, but because the dragon hates a vacuum. And I've always wanted to see what happens when you pop a hole in one. Oh, he's the ghost of the reach, with a mind like a maze, living out his life in a static-filled haze. He wasn't a hero we prayed for in the night, but he was the only one willing to join in the fight. Yeah, Mad Gideon Sterling, he took the coin and signed his name where the shadows all join. The next morning, you walked down to the docking bay. I was imagining a battle master or marauder in the grave. Something with guns the size of houses to make the corridor weep. But when the hangar door groaned open, my heart took a leap right into the pit of my stomach. There she was, an LCT-1 VA Locust, a 20-ton bird made of scrap metal and hope. 2 machine guns and a medium laser, looking like a toy on a rope. I looked at him, I looked at the mech, then I looked at him again. I said, Gideon, that's a scout, best for running, not for men. He guided the leg, the metal was scarred and the paint was all peeled. And he said, in a forest of oaks, the sapling is the only one who doesn't yield. He climbed up the side like a spider on a web, while the hope in my chest started to ebb. He plugged in his neuro helmet, his eyes went wide and bright. And that little locust, it twitched, it came to lies and the light. With a mind like a maze, living out his life in a static-filled haze. He wasn't the hero we prayed for in the night, but he was the only one willing to join in the fight. Oh, the walk back to the freighter, a quiet one. I kept thinking about how the dragon's work was never done. I spent a town's last chance on a man who talked to walls, and a max that looked like it'd fall over if the wind calls. But as we lifted off, leaving the reach behind, I saw him in the cockpit, talking to the HUD, real kind. He was laughing had the sense of things. He was humming a tune, and I realized we were all gonna be dead real soon. Or maybe, just maybe, the dragon had met his match in the moon. We set the course for home, for this very rock beneath our feet. Me and a madman and a bird with metal feet. Yeah, 20 tons of trouble coming home to roost. Don't look at me like that, boy, I know it sounds like a bad joke, but wait till you hear about the meeting in the tunnel.